Hi, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. Are you looking for a beach read this summer? May I suggest your big wireless bill? It's got suspense, mystery, a slightly flat, emotional arc, and a shocking twist where you realize you've been overpaying the entire time. Fortunately, though, Mint's story is better. Every plan, $15 a month. Even unlimited. That's it. Happy ending, zero tears. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.
Welcome to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legends, where we take a deep dive into the Star Wars universe, such as characters, creatures, stories, and so much more. Hosted by Ben of Temeria and Kadojo.
Welcome back, fellow Jedi. I've been doing this show for a couple years now and haven't made a decision of what to call all of our fans. Well, welcome back, our listeners. We'll figure something out later, apparently. Welcome back to Holocron History, Star Wars Canon versus Legends. I am one of your hosts, Brandon, or also known as Ben of Temeria, and always with me is my good friend, Kadojo.
Hello there.
And Dojo, do you know anything we could do we call them Jedi? Do we call them Sith?
Adepts.
Adepts. Ooh, I like that. Neither Jedi nor Sith, but force wielding. Or learners of that way. Yeah, there you go. Adepts. I like that. But today we are diving into our first land vehicle in the Star Wars universe. Surprisingly, that neither I or Teacup or Austin have gone over in the 3 years we've been doing this podcast. We have not even talked about land vehicles, specifically the AT-AT, which is what we're going over today. Now, this is all Legends content. This is only the Legends stuff. We're not doing the canon stuff in this episode. That'll be a separate episode. But yeah, we haven't done the AT-AT, which is the most iconic Star Wars vehicle next to the X-Wing.
It was the first true Imperial land vehicle you ever really saw.
Yeah.
Because if you go back to A New Hope, they rode dewbacks, those giant lizard creatures. Yep. They had shuttles, they had starships, but they never really had any land vehicles.
Correct.
Then you get to the Empire Strike Back,
and that's when we start seeing them.
The battle, you see, all of a sudden you just see these big dots in the distance. Like, what are those things? They get bigger and bigger and bigger.
And I get, oh, okay. So
yeah. Oh no, we screwed up, guys. we screwed up.
So the all-terrain armored transport, or AT-AT Walker, also known as the Imperial Walker, was a major part of the Galactic Empire's motor pool, carrying a vast amount of firepower and being heavily armored. The AT-AT was arguably the most feared and effective land vehicle in the Imperial Army, and enjoyed a long lifespan, having served various factions from the early days of the Clone Wars to the Second Imperial Civil War 160 years later. While mighty and powerful, however, the AT-AT also was known for its relatively slow speed. Yeah, it was slow as hell.
I find it weird that the Galactic Empire has a quote-unquote motor pool.
Right, when there's no actual, yeah, that's a whole thing. So the AT-AT Walker was a behemoth of a war machine, standing at a height of 22.5 meters. The quadrupedal Walker closely resembled ancient beasts of war, or even a giant legendary beast from the dark side of the Force. Designed for the dual purpose of crushing and demoralizing enemy forces, and also serving as a transport for Imperial troops and light vehicles, the AT-AT was among the most astonishing vehicles in the Imperial Army's inventory. Hundreds of these walkers were produced during the Galactic Civil War, and its intimidating and powerful presence also earned its distinctive of being the first vehicle into a combat zone.
Yeah, well, you're gonna hit hard. I'm wondering what legendary beast of the dark side of the Force this is based off of. Because you don't have a name for...
No, we don't really have a name for it. It's just I think it was probably one from one of the novels back in the day.
Maybe. It's interesting to see what kind of big beast this is based off of.
Right. So, serving as the head of the mechanical walker was a movable command section containing the command cockpit with room for the commander, pilot, and gunner. The command section housed all of the AT-AT weapon systems as well as the holographic targeting systems, allowing the gunners a 360-degree view of their position. The cockpit was also equipped with a holo projector for purposes of external communication. Forward visualization was supplied by a glowing red command viewport. The head could rotate as much as 90 degrees right or left and 30 degrees up and down for expansive field of fire. Position above the and below the command section with the walkers were sensor arrays and blaster cannon energizers, respectively. Which, makes sense.
Yeah, and the holo projector you saw in Empire Strikes Back, you got Veer saying to Vader, you can start your descent. We're going to be blowing up the generator here shortly.
Right.
But that I have questions. That 90 degrees to the left and right seems a bit too much. Because if you look at the head of it, it doesn't seem that flexible to go left and right, though.
Right. At least in, the movies.
Yeah.
Because you can only do so much back then during, the 80s.
Yeah.
So the command head was attached to a trapezoid armed body section of a flexible armored tunnel, allowing the cockpit access to the rest of the machine. The AT-AT troop section could typically carry 4 speeder bikes, up to 40 troops, normally comprising Imperial Stormtroopers or Imperial Land Assault Troopers, and a double-tiered passenger section, and a heavy weaponry, such as the E-Web heavy repeating blasters. The AT-AT could also variably hold 2 all-terrain scout transports, or ATSTs, in lieu of soldiers in a near vehicle bay, though they required partial disassembly to fit inside.
Okay, I was gonna say
it's there's no way in heck that
they would have to take the legs off.
Right,
they would have to take the legs off and just shove the heads in.
Yeah. So housed in the troop section were 2 large side panels, each one held an escape hatch. The rear panel also has the troop staging area. Positioned in the center of the body and section was a rectangular boarding hatch with sliding ramps where the AT-AT's complement of troops loaded and disembarked. An AT-AT unloaded his troop kneeling to 3 meters above ground level until the boarding ramp could extend outward. Individual stormtroopers could also be deployed rapidly by propelling cable. An AT-AT walker deployed on the moon, Yavin 8, carried a distress beacon, which was launched aboard a missile.
Yavin 8.
Yep.
Never heard that before.
Yavin Prime, Yavin 8. Trying to see here. I think this is specifically in Star Wars issue number 5 from 1977.
Wow. Okay.
This is what this is from. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's from the comics.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
So below the troop body section was 2 immense Kuwait drive yars, FW62 compact fusion drive systems that, in conjunction with the walker's 4 giant heavily reinforced legs, propel the AT-AT forward on top of a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. However, the maximum rate of the achievable only on flat, stable terrain. At the near of the connected to and drive motors were the walker's 3 fuel slug tanks and powered the massive machine. The AT-AT's rear also included atmospheric exchangers and filtration units to regulate the interior living conditions. The walker's legs were supported by massive Durasteel footpads and impulse terrain sensors, supplemented by toe flaps. Blech. They could also crush obstacles in the path of a little effort, effectively helping the AT-AT to live up to its name. The legs did, however, require constant maintenance and repair. As a Titanic walker marched down the battlefield, its heavy, stomping feet would cause the ground to shake, demoralizing the enemy before they were even engaged.
So it can reach pretty good speed on flat surfaces, but going up here hill, nope, we gotta put it in second gear. Can't
Pretty much.
go above second gear.
Pretty much.
Can't do that. And
It's,
as far as
yeah.
crushing things, I mean, we saw also in Empire Strike Back, it crushed a speeder,
Mhm.
snow speeder, flat with no problems.
Yep.
And I find it funny. It says, well, the legs need constant attention. So do human legs, especially the knees.
Yep. So the AT-AT's formal offensive capabilities were supplied by dual chin-mounted Tamanback MS-1 fired linked heavy laser cannons for slower, more cumbersome targets, and 2 fire-linked medium repeating blasters mounted on each side of the head, designed for lighter, agile targets. The 2 sets of the weapons could be intimately rotated in order to engage multiple targets at once. However, the AT-AT's head, which could move between a range of left, center, and right firing arcs, could only rotate 1 firing arc per heavy laser volley. The Walker's strong external 9095-T8511 gray Durasteel armor was virtually impervious to all but the heaviest of artillery weapons.
Yeah, and again, Empire Strikes Back, they try to shoot the body, nothing happens.
Nope.
Nothing happens.
It's so resistance to, explosions and other weapons that, like, there's only one way to take them down, which we see in Empire.
Now, I think this is canon, but Star Wars Lost Stars is a short young adult romance novel where a TIE pilot defects to the Rebel Alliance. And during this battle, he's actually at the battle, he actually shoots at the feet, which causes the screws to come unloose, and the Walker just falls.
Okay, that's interesting. I did not know that. So the most vulnerable part of the Walker was its flexible neck, which was susceptible to light blaster barrages. If punctured, it can lead to a reactor breach. Although it is considered an unlikely scenario, it nonetheless considered potentially catastrophic. The legs were also somewhat unstable and could be tripped due to high center of gravity, leaving the Walker defenseless. In addition, when tipped, AT-ATs do not regain footing easily, and they are also vulnerable to crumbling terrain. Damaged knee joints can lead to loss of mobility, being less sound than other parts of the leg due to their representing the flexible joining of 2 components, with the joints being vulnerable to artillery attacks. While first appearing to a slow lumbering vehicle, the AT-AT would often be on top of its enemies before they know what hit them.
Yeah, and I think Star Wars Shadow of the Empire, the video game, you play as a smuggler for the rebels, and you have to go out and help. And one of the tricks is you have to shoot the neck for the walkers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think Star Wars Rogue Squadron, also you could do that trick by shooting them in the neck, and that also kills.
Well, I know in Rogue Squadron there was the mission where you tie them up just like an Empire.
Yeah.
But
there was also an option to hit the neck as well.
Oh, I did not know that.
Took longer, but it was an option.
Huh. Okay. So the AT-AT also lacked armor covering its underbelly, leaving the spot vulnerable to mounted guns or portable missile launchers. To remedy this weakness, the AT-STs usually used a station around the Walker's flanks to ensure nothing was given a clear shot of the AT-AT weak underside. The Walker could also be disabled with shots to the knee joints. In addition, they also lacked rear-facing weaponry, while sufficiently armored, their primary purpose nonetheless was to act as a troop transports, unless they have comparatively lighter armaments compared to other mainstream walkers in the Imperial Army. In order to compensate for these glaring blind spots, the AT-ATs are often deployed in staggering formations, as well as accompanied by support vehicles. Which we see that in Empire as well. We see them in a staggered formation of multiple AT-ATs.
Yeah, and there were also AT-STs.
Yep.
I don't know if they added them in a special edition or not, but where were those AT-STs when Luke came up underneath one of them? and just
Not there.
repelled up. Have you ever seen the Robot Chicken special where you
Mm-mm.
see Luke cut open the bottom, throw the grenade in, and it's the bathroom of the walker. And you just see the stormtrooper just sitting there with a newspaper, hears that, and goes, "Oh man, ooh!"
No, I have not seen that. That's funny.
It's funny.
So the AT-ATs were typically deployed for ground assault from orbit by large dropships. Walkers stationed within larger warships, such as the Executor-class Stardust Dreadnought, were delivered to planetary surfaces within ICOM Y-85 Titan dropships, capable of carrying 4 AT-ATs. Smaller starships, such as the Imperial-class Star Destroyer, deployed single walkers via the Tetra Class AT-AT barrage. Other designs, including the Talgorn Corporation Warlord dropship, were capable of delivering an armored platoon of 4 walkers. That's a lot of walkers.
Yeah. Yeah, actually there was a fan-made movie, and they actually had a simulation or depicted this where they came in, sat down, you just saw 4 walkers heading out.
Well, we
Can't remember
kind of, I forget, don't we see this in Rebels at one point?
No, they had
No? I thought they did.
well, Theta class? No. No, they had those the TIE fighter carriers. I can't remember what they're called now.
I know what those are, but I thought I've seen
Yeah.
them. I thought we saw some AT-ATs be dropped in
Yeah,
at
via
some point in
those
Star Wars.
those
Or is it
dropships,
the
but not a
barge?
Theta class.
Not a Theta class. Okay.
No. Those you
Okay.
actually see in Empire at War.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So we do have some modified variants of the AT-AT. So the Empire utilized several modified variants of the standard AT-AT design for purposes of fitting certain missions profiles in specific environments. The walkers used the Battle Hoth and 3 ABY, nicknamed Snow Walkers, were specifically designed with heat circulation systems, de-icing controls, and energy-efficient environmental controls. Well,
Yeah,
that
because
that makes
every
sense.
planet's frozen now,
Oh yeah,
apparently.
everything's different. The AT-AT Dune Walker was a desert terrain walker fitted with Sienar Z-23 heat displacement units, while the aquatic terrain armor transport, known as the AT-AT Swimmer, was a repulsor craft cousin to the standard model. There was also an all-terrain ion cannon and long-range artillery gun mounted on an AT-AT chassis.
I almost kind of want to see the swimmer as, doing a little dog paddle instead of having repulsors. Just sort of.
Yeah, this is essentially like, so think of the body of an AT-AT, but there's no legs.
Yeah, just massive repulsors on the underside.
Yeah. And the Dune Walker is just a standard AT-AT, but it's modified to where it's not going to, you're not going to burn up inside.
No.
And then various planetary garrisons often modify their AT-ATs to suit the local environments, with variation modifications including gas filters, heat circulators, and anti-corrosive sheens. The aquatic terrain armored transport, also known as the AT-AT Swimmer, was an extreme modification created by the Imperial Army garrison for use on Kabaria. Yeah, it's a water planet. Go figure.
Yeah.
It was first introduced in Star Wars Passages or Star Wars Adventures Journal number 7.
7.
Passages.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, it's an old comic series by the looks of it.
Yeah.
Back in
They're just printing stuff out.
1995. So
I wonder if they're printing more stuff out faster than they can prove it for canonized back then.
That's a good question. Now they did confirm. It was just announced and confirmed that they are going to be releasing their first ever canonical manga that is
Really?
set during the sequel trilogy. It's set in between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker with a brand new character.
Okay.
So it's very interesting. It looks like, I was like, all right, cool. Like, I can get behind that and
Yeah.
like solidify a little bit of the sequel series trilogy and like add some more to it when they haven't really touched it since
Rise of Skywalker.
They haven't really touched it since then.
Yeah, they
and the
kind
park,
of,
obviously.
okay,
They touched
we'll
it
do
with
a
the
little
park,
hands
but
off.
the park
hands
kind of
off
like
that.
is so Galaxy's Edge is set, and it's Galaxy's Edge is a canon like place in Star Wars, and it is like canonical to the sequel trilogy and everything, but
It's like
because how the
Groundhog
park
Day.
is, yeah, kind of, yeah.
The day repeats over and over.
Kind
and
of,
over.
yeah. But like the more they add to it, it changes and everything. It's cool. But anyway, that being said, let's take a quick mid break, thank our patrons, and we'll be right back.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
All right, welcome to the middle of the show. We're talking about everything in the podcast that has nothing to do with the lore of Star Wars. Here, we want to thank all of our amazing patrons. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. And if you too want to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/holocronhistories, where you can get ad-free episodes or even join us once a month on the show itself, a topic you're choosing. Gosh, I can't talk. You can also support us on Apple and Spotify. Leave 5-star review on Apple with some words or a nice Spotify comment we'll read out loud next time on the show, which we don't have any this week, but that's all right. And you can also find us on a few different Discord servers. The Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, as well as my own Discord server, the Ben and Friends Podcasting Discord, where you can find this show and all the other shows that I host, which are Final Fantasy Lorecast, the Gundam Lorecast, the Wizarding World Lorecast, and the Witcher Lorecast. So go check those out. Lots of great stuff on Robots Radio. So we have a plethora of shows. So we have way too many. If you can think of it, we probably have something related to it. But other than that, I really have nothing else to add. Do you have anything to add, Dojo?
It is Star Wars related, but I'll go ahead and say it now. Star Wars Galaxy at War is a very old game, and it allows mods for various different eras. And the latest one to come out, which is awesome, I have to find it here in a second. Oh, there it is. Not that. No.
Dan, I saw there was a new mod that came out, right?
Yes. Star Wars Empires at War expansion, Revan's Revenge.
Revan's Revenge. Yes, I did see
it
that.
It takes place during the KOTOR era, and you can play from anywhere from the beginning of the Mandalorian Wars to the Dark Wars, which takes place just before KOTOR 2.
Ooh.
And Mandalorians are one of the playable factions, and they have some interesting units. They even have basilisks.
Yeah, Mandos during that time period were very interesting, to say the least. Yeah.
So go check it out. Empires at War is a very good game.
Oh, it's a great game. Good if you like tactic-based games. Empire War is really good. You can get it on Steam, so go check that out.
Yeah.
But with that being said, let's get back into more of the AT-AT.
If data management is slowing down your business, you need the Intuit ERP. If one entity is here, and one here, and one here, and one here, you need the Intuit ERP. If scaling your business feels like starting over, you need the Intuit ERP. Intuit Enterprise Suite is the AI-native ERP solution that consolidates, migrates, and automates, all in one place. Learn more at intuit.com/ERP.
In the U.S., there's a break-in every 26 seconds. But when intruders step near, Simply Safe Home Security steps up.
Stop. This is Simply Safe. Police are on the way.
Using AI alerts, U.S.-based live agents help deter break-ins. Simply Safe, no long-term contracts. Save 50% on your new system with professional monitoring at simplysafe.com/Spotify or with promo code Spotify.
Outdoor deterrence requires a Simply Safe Active Guard outdoor protection plan starting at $49.99 a month. Visit simplysafe.com/licenses for alarm license information. Tennessee 2012.
Okay, so we are now going to dive into the AT-AT history. So, believe it or not, it has some Clone Wars origins. So, the AT-ATs were first designed and assembled by Kuwait Drive Yards during the Clone Wars. They were evolved from the AT-TE walkers first employed in the Battle of Geonosis, as well as the AT-PT.
I want to say the AT-TE is the superior walker. You cannot change my mind.
You said the AT-TE?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, no. Like, the six-legged walkers that we see that are fully armored with a big, giant cannon on the back of it. Yeah,
that can actually rotate 360 degrees.
Yeah, and it actually has the weapons in the back of it and the front.
It has better troop transport.
Let's be honest, everything in the Clone Wars is better. So the first generation AT-AT walkers saw their debut during the Battle of Jabim. Later in the Clone Wars, during this battle, the overwhelmed Confederacy forces were annihilated by them. Their significance waned when the walkers were slowed down by muddy surfaces of the planet, making it easier for the enemy units to bring them down. At some point, AT-AT walkers managed to fall into the hands of the CIS, and with at least one being kept in a research facility on the separatist world of Dido.
Yeah, I guess that's one of the problems with heavy walkers. Mud.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Comes like a suction
now,
cup.
I guarantee you the AT-TE walkers probably didn't have a problem.
No, they had 6 legs, and their center of gravity was lower as well.
Is lower, 6 legs, and I mean, we see it in the Clone Wars animation show. They could climb a mountain.
Yeah.
Like, straight up at 90-degree angle.
They had grappling cables for that.
Uh-huh. Yep, it was great. It was awesome. That's why they're superior. They can do way more. And then during the wars, wheeled tanks like the A5 and A6 Juggernauts were preferred over both the AT-AT and the AT-HE due to the decreased ground pressure of the wheeled vehicles over legged ones. So
AT-HT.
I know, I was the AT-HE. So AT-E.
Oh, HE.
The all-terrain heavy enforcer. Sadly, there's no picture for it.
Huh. Okay.
But the AT-PT is essentially like the what eventually would probably become the AT-ST.
Yeah, it was precursor.
Yeah. So now we go into the Imperial refinement. So this is when during the time of the Galactic Empire, so the Republic became the Empire. AT-ATs were not completely forgotten, as a later generation model participated in the Battle of Orion 4. AT-ATs were being tested on the planet of Cardia when the Rebel Alliance attacked. The AT-AT was instrumental in winning the battle. After the Battle of Yavin, it was Maximilian Veers that fully resurrected the concept, bringing the AT-AT into full Imperial service. They were deployed in a wide array of worlds following the months, including Corellia, Chandrila, and Gorman.
Gorman. I think that was mentioned. Was this the planet mentioned in Andor? Yes. Yes, it was.
Okay.
In Andor, they talk about the Gorman massacre, which takes very much a backseat. So this is, I'm guessing, same thing here.
Gotcha. So largely because it was resembling a large beast of the Outer Rim, and Imperial made propaganda reinforcing its near invincible status. Civilians within both the Rimmers and various galactic civilians, with Mon Mothma also explicitly stating that the Rebel Alliance refuses to use the vehicles due to their acts of psychological destabilization, since they represented hope instead of fear. Nearly 3 years after the Battle of Yavin, Veers neared completion on a superior model, while on Zauroris, this was nicknamed the Dune Cow, with the prototype Blizzard 1 constructed at Camp Kolrun. Veers assaulted the planet's capital when Zauroris declared their affiliation with the rebellion.
Dune Cow.
Dune
Of
Cow.
all the names you could pick,
Yep.
Dune Cow.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Hope that one was shot.
How do they know what a cow is?
Maybe they have cows in Star Wars universe.
It's like, how do they know what a cow is? Because we never seen a cow in Star Wars.
To be fair, we never seen that much livestock in Star Wars either.
Fair point. That is a fair point. So at least one AT-AT was used at the Battle of Boz Pity. The AT-AT was unknowingly steered into a trap set by the Renegade Squadron. A detonation pack was used to blow up the hidden cache of explosives, and a huge explosion toppled the machine. However, the battle was ultimately a victory for the Empire. And then this is coming, I believe, from the game Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron, if I recall.
Yeah, I think I played this. PSP, yeah, I played it for a little bit. Don't remember the game at all.
Yeah. First identified as Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron. Yep, which was a lot of fun. I liked playing this game.
Yeah.
There was this one, and there was one where you play as twins.
Yeah, which was supposed to be Star Wars Battlefront 3.
Was that Elite Squadron?
Yes, that was it. They moved it to a handheld version. They took the story from Star Wars Battlefront 3 and put it into Elite Squadron and just made a handheld version of it.
What's the Elite Squadron? I thought it might have been something. Was it different? Something different? It was one of the Battlefronts. I can't remember what it was. Oh no, this can't be it because there was a DS version of this game. Oh gosh, this is gonna drive me insane now, not knowing. No.
PSP.
Or just look up Star Wars Battlefront games and I'll continue.
So yes, it was. Sorry, it was Elite Squadron.
Is the Elite Squadron that had that story?
Yeah. And this game also had a transition from space combat to ground combat.
Yeah, that's what I really liked about it too.
Yeah, and that was supposed to be.
We still didn't even get that in the newer Battlefronts.
No,
and we have the tech to do it. Anyway, several AT-ATs were also deployed on Rautier to subjugate the scientists, although several of them were destroyed after Red Squadron destroyed the bridges into the city with bombs deployed or developed by scientists and their speeders.
Okay,
At the Battle of Hoth, the Empire's Blizzard Force utilized AT-ATs to assault the rebels' Echo base. It was protected above the energy shield due to their weight and the unstable terrain they were also were traversing. A few of them were lost before the battle even began. General Maximilian Veers commanded the ground forces in advance on the shield generator, decimating rebel troopers in their trenches. Blizzard Forces' frequent usage of AT-ATs were largely the reason behind their logo adopting an image of an AT-AT.
Yeah, it seems like they tried to use AT-ATs as both a police force or subjugation method instead of a head-on assault, which seems to be a better use of them.
Right. So, faced with such forces, Luke Skywalker employed a strategy earlier devised by himself and a strategist, Beer Chiffionge? I don't know, I can't remember how. Chifffonage. disable the walkers. His squadron of snowspeeders would use their magnetic harpoons to tow cables and tangle the walkers' feet, toppling them. Wedge Antilles and his gunner, Wes Jansen, managed to disable one walker using this method. Luke destroyed 2 more by cutting a hole in each with his lightsaber and tossing a concussion grenade. Because grenades work.
I think we only saw one of those.
Yeah, we only see one in the film. So
yeah,
go on.
Sorry, I have the book version of the original trilogy, and in the scene where you see the walker go trip forward, there's a snow speeder that comes in and shoots, strafes the walker and hits the neck. Everyone thinks, oh, just hit the neck and it blows up. No, in the book it suggested that no, that couldn't have done enough damage. The guy must have hit a self-destruct button in it.
Yeah. So Dash Rendar was able to bring down a third through unknown means. Another AT-AT was closed on Echo Base and was destroyed by Renegade Squadron, which used particle cannon turrets to destroy the war machine. The dangers of AT-AT walkers toppling was discovered by an Imperial cadet named Davin Felth. But the oversight was not corrected by Colonel Veers prior to deployment. Dun, dun, dun.
Dash Rendar is the main character for Star Wars Shadow of the Empire.
Yes.
And of course, someone finds a flaw with the machine and says, nah, that's not a flaw. That was a fluke you found. Not going to happen.
It's just like the Death Star. You might want to listen to some of your cadets if they're thinking of flaws when, not even a year earlier, your first Death Star blew up from said imperfection.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the imperfection was planned from the inside, but still.
Yeah.
Anyway, so despite these small successes, they were ultimately insignificant to turn the tide. That word.
Yeah.
To turn the tide of the battle, and the Battle of Hoth was one of the most devastating losses of the rebellion and the entire galactic civil war. The AT-AT succeeded in destroying the shield generator, thereby allowing the main Imperial force to land and attack Echo Base. The AT-ATs would go on to devastate the rebel defenses.
Now, the Battle of Hoth, the Hoth base was originally built to be abandoned. This was temporary. Let's get all the head commanders here, figure out a plan, and then we'll leave.
Right.
And the Empire
they just so happened to find out. They were never going to stay on an ice planet. That's terrible.
Yeah.
You can't support an army on a freaking ball of ice.
No.
So during the Battle of Duberalion, Wedge Antilles, after infiltrating the Duberalion super laser facility, an all-terrain scout transport, or ATST, managed to hijack an AT-AT walker inside the hangar, which was proceeded towards the generator room and used the walker's firepower to destroy the super laser's facility's turbines and destroy the facility and the super laser for good.
Yay.
Several AT-ATs also broke out of the Imperial 1-class Star Destroyer Motivator after it was shot down from orbit during the Battle of Kothless, although Rogue Squadron managed to down them in the ocean. Definitely not getting them out of the ocean.
No. But how do you
definitely
imagine?
That's not going to happen.
Because I can't only imagine most Star Destroyers, when they crash in a planet, it's belly side down.
Right.
So did they use like a side axis that we don't know about?
I couldn't tell you.
Because I don't think they have side axis.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have to look at the schematics.
Maybe it's on an
There's
angle.
schematics for them, and I would have to look at one. So at 1, AT-AT patrolled the garrison base of the forest move Endor, but no impact on the battle there, as AT-ATs were limited in their range of their defense foliage of the moon. As a result, smaller vehicles such as all-terrain scout transports, or AT-STs, saw far more use. An AT-AT was originally going to be used in the Battle of Endor, but was damaged by Renegade Squadron, resulting in the portions of the Galactic Empire attempting to fix it.
Yeah, you do see one, maybe two, in Return of the Jedi at the base of a landing shuttle. They bring Luke into it, but
you see two of them.
Yeah, but
it's also
I
in the Battlefront games too.
Yeah, I can understand why they weren't used in the battle, because that force is thick.
Oh God, yeah. Have you played Ewok Hunt before? It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying for a stormtrooper being on that freaking planet with the freaking cannibalism or man-eating teddy bears. I mean, that's terrifying.
Oh, yeah.
So, going beyond Endor, so sometime after the Battle of Endor, the Empire replaced the AT-AT lasers and blasters with light turbo lasers, easily capable of defeating many highly protected offensive weapons and emplacements, which, that kind of helps if you turn up the juice a bit.
Yeah, siege weapons now.
Right. In 5 ABY, an AT-AT was patrolling Aeon Rusion as the Imperial faction led by the 7 Darth Jedi searched for the Valley of the Jedi. Shortly after cutting down Saras, rebel mercenary and rising Jedi Knight Kyle Katarn headed for the Valley of himself, passing through the standby AT-AT as he went.
Now, during my first playthrough of this game, I didn't know. I thought being a Jedi was, automatic. No, somehow I managed to get the dark side option.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I didn't know how it happened back then, but it turns out if you kill a lot of bystanders in the beginning of the game, that doesn't
that tends not to go well. Was this Jedi Outcast or?
No, first Jedi Knight.
Jedi Knight. Sorry, not Jedi Outcast. Yeah, Jedi Knight.
Yeah, Jedi Knight.
Okay. So in 9 ABY, Nomad City on Niklon?
Yeah, sounds right.
Niklon, was a mining operation owned by Lando Calrissian. The city was built from a Dreadnought-class heavy cruiser mounted on top of 40 captured AT-ATs and constantly moved the city away from the day side of Niklon and prevented it from being destroyed by the intense radiation of Nikon's sun. However, the city was damaged and later abandoned, leading to the eventual destruction of Nomad City and its AT-ATs by the intense radiation. What in the world?
How many mining operations does Lando own by now? He's got one in Cloud City. He's got this, which... That's impressive. You got 40 AT-ATs to move a Dreadnought class heavy cruiser.
I'm curious who's piloting them, because I would not want to pilot one of those, or even be on said planet.
I mean, you can only go on a straight line, I can only imagine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. So, during the reborn Emperor Palpatine's insurgency in a clone body, from 10 ABY to 11 ABY, the Empire developed a new variant of AT-AT that was equipped with the most powerful Imperial turbo lasers and the new X-80 power cells. These were deployed during the attack on New Alderaan. During the battle, they were vaporized many buildings, gun emplacements, and starfighters. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, they came up with a weird new variant design. It looks so weird. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was called. So following the Galactic Civil War, AT-ATs and AT-STs were also being used by the New Republic. They were considered a quite old vehicle and were neglected to local planetary defense forces.
So I'm sorry. Wait. Mon Mothma says, "Oh no, we're not."
Right, that's where I was going to go with that. It's like, oh, we can't use those. They incite fear. We're all about hope. New Republic. Oh, screw all that crap. We're going to use everything that we can. I mean, that's essentially what it comes down to. Like, they're a new government. They basically are at that point. They're strapped for cash because they don't have any.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, well, we have to reuse all this old crap that the Empire built. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I don't see it on here, but during the Battle of Kuwait, they actually deployed unfinished AT-ATs on the rings to fight the Rebel Alliance.
Yeah, that's true too. And then during the Yuuzhan Vong War, AT-ATs were found on an Imperial remnant planet, Skamar, and battled a Yuuzhan Vong army during the battle there. The new Jedi orders Myark strike team found one of their vehicles on the Yuuzhan Vong Chorus Strona Banu Ross in 27 ABY, which is a ship, by the way. And AT-ATs were also deployed by the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances during the liberation of Coruscant in 29 ABY. It was the predecessor of the all-terrain armored heavy transport model, but was still used by Darth Krayt's Galactic Empire in 138 ABY.
The Galactic Empire made a lot of these things and spread them throughout the galaxy. It doesn't surprise me they were still in use like 100+ years after they were probably finished building these things.
Yep, absolutely. And then, last but not least, we have behind the scenes. So the name AT-AT is never spoken in any of the films. Instead, the machines are referred to as Imperial Walkers, which is true. The original films. The AT-ATs used in The Empire Strikes Back and their brief appearance in Return of the Jedi were created with the use of stop-motion animation.
Yeah, because if you watch Empire Strike Back, the one that kind of falls off to its size, I think the one Luke blew up, you can actually quickly see a stick poking up to start it going.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you had to do what you had to do back then. Like we didn't have CG in the 1980s.
And let me tell you, it was better for it back then.
Oh my God, yes, it was so much better for it. I mean, shoot, these films still live up to this day compared to movies that came out in the last 20 years.
Lord of the Rings is, 20+ years old now, and it still looks better than most of these movies coming out now.
Yep. So in the Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back DVD commentary, George Lucas explained that he got the idea of the AT-AT from the massive tripods from H.G. Wells' 1898 novel, The War of the Worlds. Joe Johnson also claimed that the inspiration of the AT-AT was in fact the cybernetic anthropomorphous machine, or the CAM, which had been commissioned by the United States Army for the potential use in the Vietnam War before being abandoned by General Electric due to the design proving to be too exhausting to operate. It was rumored that the Lucas inspired the AT-AT walkers wear four-leg cranes at the port of Oakland, although the Lucas denied such was the case.
Yeah, I'm sure Port of Oakland would dispute that, but
Right.
Yeah, the walking truck, it is a weird looking design.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like an AT-AT, but ugly looking thing. Anyway.
Yeah. And for anybody who doesn't know already, and I've said it on the show, and Austin has said it on the show before, George Lucas got a lot of his ideas from the Vietnam War.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he got a lot of his ideas for Star Wars from war itself.
Yeah.
So the animators who brought the AT-AT Imperial Walkers to life in The Empire Strikes Back based their movements on elephants.
That makes sense.
Which that totally makes sense, yes. AT-ATs frequently appear in video games, though in games they're vary in durability. In some games, they can be damaged by shooting them, such as Shadows of the Empire and the Battlefront series, though in the latter, their durability makes using blasters impractical. In the Rogue Squadron games, AT-ATs are completely immune to all weapons and can only be destroyed with a snowspeeder tow cable, except for one mission where a snowspeeder carries bombs with its tow cable and is powerful enough to destroy an AT-AT. Typically, their weapons are easily to be the player to avoid, but destroying the walker can prove to be difficult because of their strong armor.
Yeah, and then the Star Wars Battlefront one game, the newer versions, I guess I should say, there's actually a part where you have to get comms up to get Y-Wings to come in and hit it with ion torpedoes to
disable
quote unquote weaken it.
Yeah.
So that way you can blast it.
So, additionally, in the gaming book, Star Wars Missions 4, Destroy the Liquidator, an AT-AT can be destroyed by choice between shooting the knee joints or using a harpoon cable just days after the Battle of Yavin. During the development for Rebel Strike, the third entry of the Rogue Squadron video game series, the development team, because of their instance of rebuilding Rogue Leader game coding entirely from scratch to make it different from the predecessor, ran into some gaffes and problems during the animation. One of these gaffes was Luke Skywalker's harpoon cable attaching to the AT-AT's neck when walking as if it was to a giant dog during the development of the Battlefield Hoth mission.
See, they should have included that as an Easter egg.
Oh my god, that'd been freaking awesome. And then at Disney World's Hollywood Studios, a giant model of the AT-AT is located just outside Star Tours, which it is still there to this day. Like, yeah, I was there just a couple years ago. It's still there. I think the Ewok Village and AT-AT and everything, it's still there. And there's also new AT-ATs in the Rise of the Resistance ride as well, but they're part of the sequel trilogy. So, different AT-ATs. And then in July 2010, Hasbro released an AT-AT vehicle capable of holding up to 19 figures, including with the vehicle is a speeder bike and one AT-AT driver. On the translucent decal image of the cockpit's view screen is a personal note from Brian Parrish, Hasbro's design manager for the Star Wars franchise, that reads, "Hope you enjoy the AT-AT." On the screen above the photo image of the Rebel power generator with B. Parrish. On the next line underneath, in addition, with phrases in Aurebesh, are visible in the clear acrylic screen that read regular mode, interfere mode, max, min, zoom in, and zoom out, as well as numbers 077 254 727.
That's a nice touch right there.
Oh my god, yeah. Putting that stuff in Aurebesh, that's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, regular mode, infrared mode, max, min, zoom in and zoom out in Aurebesh. Like, only Star Wars nerds who know how to read Aurebesh know how to do that. Like, know that. And I can somewhat read Aurebesh. So
show off.
Nerd. I'm just saying, it's good to know some Aurebesh when you go to Galaxy's Edge, because a lot of stuff is in Aurebesh.
Oh yeah.
Like, now, if you go to Oga's Cantina, the people that let you in the cantina is like, all right, well, this is Oga's rules and everything. It's all in Aurebesh. Nothing's in English whatsoever. It's all in Aurebesh because you're on Batuu, and that's majority of everything's in Aurebesh. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I know how to read some of this.
How big was this model of the AT-AT to hold 19 figures? How big are the figures?
It had to be a really big figure.
Yeah, I mean, and in order to make all these prints too in Aurebesh, how big was this thing?
That is a very good question. I have no idea. But yeah, that's what we have on the AT-AT. Is there anything else that you want to add, Dojo?
AT-ATs are a heavy hitter, never meant for guard duty. Come on the front lines.
Just walk it like a dog. So, yeah, all right. Well, with that being said, thank you, everybody, for listening to Holocron Histories, and may the Force be with you.
To Holocron Histories, Star Wars Canon vs. Legends. You can find us on the Robots Radio Discord at robotsradio.net, the Ben and Friends podcasting Discord, where you can share your thoughts, experiences, and love for the Star Wars lore. And don't forget, for the Republic!